Hey guys, Captain Alex Mason here, and today I'm going to be talking about what I think is going to happen in the near future for these games, and not just Ghost, but the Call of Duty franchise itself. I will tell you this, what I usually do, I don't do these videos unless I have like something that's on my mind, and sometimes I have really good ones that are on my mind, but I don't, upload a video about them. I kind of talk to myself in my head first to see how it sounds, like how it plays out, and if I like it, then I normally like to do a video about it. But that doesn't mean all my good ones, my good ideas and thoughts that I have, make it in video format, because unfortunately I tend to forget what they were when I upload them, or I wait too long and then I forget altogether. So today, I actually was talking to myself a little bit before I did this. We're going to be talking about the outcomes of the Call of Duty franchise, considering the fact that Black Ops 3 is confirmed to be the next Call of Duty game out there. Now, we already got word that Black Ops 3 was already coming out, because the voice actor for Sergeant, or Master Sergeant, I don't know, something Sergeant Frank Woods said, oh, Black Ops 3 is coming out on his channel and his Facebook, which, yeah, he does have a channel. I actually found that out the hard way. I thought everybody was kidding, but no, he does. And basically what Activision's been doing, they're playing the numbers game. And what I mean by the numbers game is they only make a certain amount of titles related to a certain amount of plot lines. Like, like, I already told you guys though, but that no matter what type of story arc it is, they're all connected anyway. Even when the developers say, no they're not, or yeah they are, but that's a separate video. This video I'm mostly focusing about game titles itself. Now, if you guys have been noticing a lot of, you have like some of the big titles out there, like that we knew and loved. Like, let's go back to 2007 when Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out. That was the first one. Then 2009 came out, like 2009 Modern Warfare 2 came out, and then in 2011 Modern Warfare 3 came out. And after that they didn't do any more. Like, they didn't do another Modern Warfare. And then let's go back to 2010, Black Ops came out, and yes, I do know that Reznov was in World at War before, but at the time, Treyarch wasn't planning, to make this big storyline. They were just making their last World War II related game, because, Call of Duty started off as a World War II game. But you had Black Ops released in 2010, then Black Ops 2 came out in 2012, and now the third Black Ops game will be coming out this year. So I don't know if I'm jumping the gun on this, but it's safe to say that most of these new game titles that Call of Duty or the developers come up with are most likely going to just follow the number 3 cycle, or the number 3 game. It's kind of like how Valve will never create a third anything, like third Portal, third Half-Life, third Left 4 Dead, or third Team Fortress, or whatever game there is out there. They just won't do it. They're just done. And I think, and I'm not saying that this is going to be true, but for me it seems kind of safe enough to say that these games will most likely end in a trilogy. So even though Ghost wasn't that successful of a Call of Duty game, I'm still expecting there to be like maybe 2 more sequels for this, and then just end it. And then Advanced Warfare, the same thing applies, where they just have Advanced Warfare, I don't know what they're going to call it, Advanced Warfare 2 and 3, and then just be done. But what still surprises me is that, the fans really want, like, sometimes they take into consideration what the fans want, and then sometimes they just write all this stuff in advance, and it kind of sucks. I'm not saying necessarily I wouldn't play their games still, because I still like playing them, but they're just not what I expect. Like, I kind of want them to go back to wars that actually were real. Not that these wars and stuff bother me, because, you know, they do bring out an interesting storyline, but I kind of want to settle down a little bit more and finish up the historic stuff, because, you know, these games started off as like kind of like an idea that Steven Spielberg came up with, because he was a avid gamer. He's like, you know, we should make games based on an actual event like World War II. But many gaming developers said, nah, it's not a smart idea. Like, not a lot of people will be interested. Let's just stick with our fake titles like James Bond, Ghost Recon, that sort of stuff. So eventually one of the developers broke and made Medal of Honor, which was based on World War II, which eventually spawned the developers Infinity Ward, which made the first Call of Duty game. And then they started focusing on World War II, but then Call of Duty 4 came out, and basically Infinity Ward said, you know what, we want to show the idea of what present day, when they created this, warfare looks like. So they used the idea, and it worked. And yes, I admit it, Modern Warfare was actually pretty good. Modern Warfare 2 and 3, yeah, they're kind of based on real/fake wars, but, you know, they're not that far-fetched considering what's going on in the world right now. And the technology they use is very plausible, because we're seeing it being used today. Maybe not all of it, but at least something similar to it. But they'd only started having the issue, though, when Black Ops came around. Now, Black Ops focused on the Cold War and many of the other things, like small wars in between, like, you know, the Vietnam War, which was a big deal because, you know, first war that the U.S. lost. They talked about, or you actually had a mission in a couple of Black Ops games where you play in the Soviet-Afghan War, the Angolan Civil War. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. But they never covered the Korean War, which, yeah, I know, there's a whole lot of controversy around it, saying, oh, well, that would ruin relations with both North and South, even though Advanced Warfare already made a game and a mission where it takes place in one of those said countries, which, you know, they said if we had done that, it would ruin relationships, but no, they're still strong, they're still concrete-ish, and no relationships ruined. And then they'll say, oh, weapons will be the same as World War II weapons, and nobody will like that. And, oh, the missions will most likely be like Hill 400 from Call of Duty 2 over and over. Yeah, I get it. But you know what? At least, you know, it was a true event. Besides, this is the war where Frank Woods, Captain Alex Mason, and Jason Hudson first met. You think such iconic characters, that game would sell, am I right? Or, you know, give us a little more background besides reading about them in the intel that you collect in Black Ops, because, you know, I want more than just finding out, oh, they served in Korea, but not give a descriptive idea of where they fought. At least we know where Woods was when Korean War happened. He was there when it actually happened. But Mason and Hudson, no, we don't have any clue. And that I at least would want them to get. I don't expect them to make a Call of Duty game about the 1982 Lebanon War, even though, you know, in 83, and yes, this is part of the same war, even though, you know, the media branches it off as a separate thing. we were involved, and when the 83 Marine barracks bombing occurred, that was involved in the war, and one of the voice actors, who was actually a lieutenant colonel in a real war, was in charge of those Marines that got bombed, and that sort of thing. I'm also surprised that Treyarch, because they own the rights to this, surprisingly still have not made a standalone zombies game. You think they would. And I would imagine it would sell a lot. I mean, people still are asking, hey, let's make a standalone zombies game. Instead of doing this endless wave stuff, let's actually make a campaign. Follow Sniper Elite's example. They started off as like a sniper game, and then all of a sudden they got the idea of Sniper Elite Nazi Zombie Army. Just do that. And then, what else? Shit, I forgot. Oh, another reason I bring this up is because even though we get some of the classic, we're getting one classic map so far at this moment, coming back in Black Ops 3, it still doesn't answer my stinking question. And people are still asking, what happened on the moon? That was in 2025. And these characters, like, you're asking yourself, what happened to Samantha, which inhabited Richtofen's body? What happened to Corporal Tank Dempsey, Captain Takio Masaki, Sergeant Nikolai Belinsky? Where are they? We know at least where Samantha ended up, in Argatha, but what about the others? You still won't answer that question. And yeah, many people also had the question of, can you bring back the old characters back, the original? And yeah, I'm glad they brought it back, but come on. We still have so many unanswered questions. And then, another thing I was actually expecting to occur, a lot of people were asking for World War II. Like, another World War II game, at least. I'm still waiting for a World War I game, even though you had one, like, I don't know, DLC where you actually play as the original 4 characters in World War I, but it's still not good enough. Or at least in my opinion. But I was kind of rolling along with the World War II thing too, because yeah, sure, Okinawa was the very last ground battle of World War II, and that gave it some significance. But you gotta ask yourself, what about Iwo Jima? That was equally as important. And it even had the iconic flag rising, which the one they show you in the press pictures, that's just the reenacted version. It's not the real flag rising, because the real flag was actually smaller and it was on a higher flagpole. That group of people were just posing for like the newspapers and whatnot. But the reason why World at War came to be was because one of the military advisors assisting with the creation of pretty much the entire Call of Duty franchise, Lieutenant Colonel retired Hank Kiersey, said, we've made World War II games covering every front except the Pacific. And they said, well, okay, well, and he's like, we gotta make a tribute to the Marines that fought and died too. I don't know why we skipped them. And he's like, okay, we'll do it. And they made it, and reasonably enough, it was pretty good. As a matter of fact, I liked the game. And I kind of wish they would do that. Now, as for an idea for World War I, you have some of the characters throughout the whole Call of Duty franchise whose relatives, unnamed relatives, have been involved in this war, or actually physically were there. I mean, 2 characters from Call of Duty 3, you got the Canadian officer, Lieutenant Jean Guy Robichaud, if I'm pronouncing his name right, and the Polish Officer Major Sten Jakowitz. And then, of course, you have the 4 characters from Zombies, but... and, of course, what's his face? Captain Norman Delaney from Big Red 1. His grandfather, or his father, fought in World War I. And we're just not going to cover it. It's just not important. This is why I think most of these wars are being forgotten. Because a lot of people now learn through media, and media includes video games. And when I go and talk to people, a lot of people are like, what's World War I? And most of them are adults. It's like they've never heard of World War I. And yes, this is the truth. I have met people who don't actually know that we were in a First World War, but know we were in a Second World War. I also know a lot of people who don't even know what the Korean War was. It's sad, but they know Vietnam, and I'm like, okay, how do you know this? He's like, Call of Duty. Which is kind of, it's not a reasonable argument, to say the least, why there should be games like that, but I would rather enjoy history. History is by far my strong suit, especially military history. What I don't want them to do is go too far back as to the point of like the American Revolution. And Civil War stuff. That's more or less the job for Assassin's Creed, because unlike Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed and the American Revolution and the American Civil War, they actually go hand in hand, because they would make the most sense. Incorporating that into a Call of Duty game, not likely. Kind of like how, it was a kind of okayish idea to make a first-person point of view for Grand Theft Auto 5, but then it takes away the classic feel to Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto has always been a third-person shooter. Make that first-person, and it's, what do you know, much like Call of Duty and Battlefield. So, until we get more information about what's going on, I really don't know where the franchise is going. I honestly hope that Black Ops 3, excluding the possible sequels for Ghost and Advanced Warfare, is the last futuristic war game we ever see, because even I'm getting a little tired of playing in exosuits and stuff. Now, yes, it is a pretty good idea, but pretty much the entire fan base has been saying, it's like, the new Titanfall trailer looks amazing, Call of Duty, guys. If I wanted a futuristic warfare, I would have chose Halo, which brings me up to another point. But I'm going to save that for another video, because I don't want to run this in for another 20 minutes. On that note, new update for Call of Duty Heroes, which is the iPhone or mobile app, came in. Played it. I still haven't gotten the new hero. Still can't get the short story version, but I intend to do it soon. Hopefully it'll stay there before November 5th or 6th, whenever it comes out, Black Ops 3. I will buy a PS4 so I can play Advanced Warfare, get all the DLCs that I want to, and then play Black Ops 3 so I can get the Giants map and stuff. I also did some editing to my YouTube channel. I put up some fan art, not fan art, some channel art, because I wanted something, but I couldn't find the perfect picture that was the right size, which is kind of stupid, because there were a lot of good pictures, but they weren't the right size. I will tell you this, I did not create it. and nor did I intentionally, like, I'm not there putting it there to insult said artist, because I actually like a lot of art that people make and it's on Google Images. But I do intend to make my own in the near future. I just can't right now because I don't have the equipment. Now that 50 subscriber special is still open, all you guys have to do is put some questions down in the comment section below for this video, and basically I'll give you guys like a week or two, or maybe even a month, so that way all the comments and questions add up, so that way there's enough for everybody, for me to answer and to the best of my knowledge, because I really do like doing these, but I just can't be like at the level of many like the greater guys out there that are, you know, making a business off this. I just do this for fun because I like, you know, posting stuff on the internet, so then I know that somebody at least is listening, because why not? You can at least try. So, with that said, I'm Captain Alex Mason, and I'll see you guys hopefully real soon with some Call of Duty 4 multiplayer, because I just have one episode left to do, and then that game's complete. After that, I really don't know what I'll do next. But, yeah. See ya.